Yeah, no, give it another shot.
That when people don't want to ask for things, it's because they really don't want to hear no because they're not used to it?
I think that is probably part of it at the very least.
Wow.
Whoa.
Well, like if you have you ever been / interacted with at length the people that are like super like how to win friends and influence people pilled?
No.
I gotta say, like, this is not. I think the closest example I've ever seen to that is probably you and Chelsea. You guys network like crazy.
Well, so this is like the evil version of that, where it's like
Evil.
where it's like you will on purpose like ask people for small favors that you could easily do yourself because people will like you more if they like in their head if they know they're willing to do things for you, that makes them like you more.
All right.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people in the actuarial crowd who are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actuarial people be like, "Can you get me this? Can you get me that?"
That's exactly what they're like, actually.
This guy's got the background filter on.
You know I got the background
no
filter on.
way.
In fact, do you know that I actually, for this month alone, I have splurged. And I have achieved Discord Nitro.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
No.
There you are. Oh my god,
Let's
you're
go.
beautiful. Hello.
That's crazy talk.
That's
It's a little
wild.
bit fidgety, but I do love just the slow strobe of colors.
Yeah, I would even say
I
it
love
looks
that too.
insane. But I
Insane in the
love it.
membrane. But also,
Insane
of course,
in the
Blur
membrane.
is where I'll stay for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll
All
be in
right.
my hyper den.
I'm gonna pull up some how do you say copyright free music, because
Ooh.
our first
I mean, that's
episode of
okay.
Jaryn Guar may or may not have had some copyright issues with the music.
Oh no.
No way.
That's fine.
Are you serious? That's crazy.
Are you for real, for real?
I'll write all our music. I'll play it for 4 hours for us.
Thanks, man. If I could just, I'll put together a like, I'll get you guys into like we'll do a quartet, and we'll all do the notes for different parts of it. Yeah, it'll be good. Laney, that
Guys,
background looks awesome.
Yeah.
That looks
Also,
sick
look,
as
there's a little
hell.
secret.
Oh my god, Obi!
Yeah, dude.
He's hidden.
Fucking hacker cat.
Oh my
He's like
God,
a
that's
hidden
so
object
good.
in one of those hidden object games.
He really
It's
is.
true. Also, no, I don't need to say it, but like, why is my forehead so fucking big, dude?
Why is your forehead? I think you have a very normal forehead, my guy.
All right.
Oh god. All right, hold on. I need royalty-free D&D music. Let's see. Is this royalty-free?
Royalty-free.
Produced by the Guild of Ambience. All rights
Yeah,
reserved.
no loyalty in this crowd.
But
I will
is
not
the
be
Guild of
tied
Ambience
down
good or
by
bad?
any anti-anarchy having music havers.
Agreed.
Fucking so true. Also, Devin, are you able to keep your Discord on and your stream on at the same time? Because it is helpful to me to hear you live.
What do you mean?
Like, because if
That's
I
what he did last time, isn't it?
you were in chat with your voice.
Yeah, he was.
What the hell?
Yeah, I've been in chat with my voice every time we've played.
See, I keep his stream open but muted. And then I'll just like watch his.
Mute my
Hey,
stream, I'll kill
Did
you.
mute it?
Is that
Did you
bad?
mute it?
If you
Yeah.
mute the
Tab
tab,
it.
then it
Yeah,
doesn't
mute
count.
the tab.
Okay.
It's
Alright.
true. If you mute the tab, it still counts as a view. If you mute the video, it will actually not count as a view.
Fucked
And
up
I'll
because
kill
deaf people
anyone who
exist.
doesn't watch my streams.
Well,
Also, I would like to apologize that my background has become even more serial killer-esque.
It
You
does.
do
It
look kind of
does
Dexter vibes.
look like there is a dead body in that trunk behind you.
I'm not gonna lie, Joseph. It would be very easy for you to hide a body in that little hole you have in the wall there.
Oh, the cat hole?
The cat hole, yeah. The
There's
cat
two of them in here.
Massive cat.
I think my favorite part is you can very clearly see where you gave up painting for the day, and you were just like, you know what, we'll do the rest later.
So Chelsea and I keep doing it in like hour-long chunks.
Mhm.
That's so
And
fair, I
Isn't
think.
painting miserable?
I
It's
love
so bad.
painting.
No, but the thing
No,
is,
no, no,
Chelsea
no.
is
You
like,
love painting for exactly one day.
Yeah,
I swear
right.
to God, I can't like because I used to paint my grandma's house back in the day. The first day I'd be like, I love painting, and then the second day I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. Oh my God.
the first job I was ever paid for was painting the entire interior of my middle school basement, the entire interior of my high school and the entire bottom trim of the exterior of the high school during the summer.
Horrible.
And it was so bad. I had to hunch
Oh.
because I wasn't know how to bring a chair.
You guys keep entertaining chat for a moment. I'm gonna go grab my dice and grab Laney's dice because I know she didn't grab her own dice.
I just
Chat,
need
more like
to do
Chad.
beyond. But yeah, I'd like a dice.
Dice, please.
Dice.
I'll grab my dice as well, actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've already got mine.
I've already got my
Can we peep the dice holder for a bit? Well, dice holder tour.
Dice holder?
Yeah, show it.
Oh, the bag?
Yeah.
Ooh, this
Is
is
that
a
what it is?
bag that is meant to store my headphones, but I keep all my dice in it instead.
That is just exactly what I would expect from you.
On the top of the bag, we have one of my currently favorite set of dice. They are miniature.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's like
Oh,
your
it doesn't
camera
really-
doesn't want me to see them.
No, it's just because I've got
Like
my background blur thing on. Hold on.
I use this dice. Oh, shit. I use this dice all the time, bro. Thanks for it.
Whoa.
You got it from me.
There we go. They're like little tiny
it.
dice.
They don't even look tiny when they're this close to my face. But I bet they are tiny. Look at
And
Obi
then-
right now. This is perfect.
Oh, he's a
He's
little
like that
hacker.
cat. It's
He's
cute.
just a little hacker man.
I'll keep him on my shoulder.
Hacker man.
Hacker man. Oh, what happened?
Oh, sorry. I just X'd out of RuneScape.
Oh yeah.
just X'd out of RuneScape.
Hostility. Damn, Daniel.
Who's being mean now?
And then-
oh my goodness.
So
In the rest of the
Also-
bag,
Okay, the rest of the bag.
assorted dice is all fucking dice, baby.
It's like,
Oh,
it's like I'm not
yeah.
gonna judge because I keep
So-
all my dice in just one little bag as well.
Yeah.
But
I don't mean to be disruptive. However, I just opened twitch.tv, and the first thing that I see is a just chatting stream entitled "I Study Painting."
Yeah, they my recommended yesterday was, is this allowed? And it was a woman doing
allowed.
body paint. Except the only thing she had painted were like the front of her boobs, so that it was in terms of service safe.
hey, fun!
Damn.
I like
hey,
that.
you gotta get that bag any way you can.
You gotta get
God.
your boobs somewhere on there.
You gotta get your boobs on there somewhere, dude. If I had
Any way
tits,
you
I'd be
can.
fucking exploiting that shit. Are you kidding me?
Streamer, how come you have the King of the Castle extension on your Twitch stream?
He always does.
Not true. I have it on after King of the Castle because what am I gonna do? Turn it off?
Yes.
No, that's
could.
hard. All right, are you
That would
guys
be the
ready?
hard thing to do.
Are you ready to get into a wily adventure of sand and squids?
I'm ready to wow it up.
Born to.
Amazing.
I'm ready to live. Guys, are you ready
Oh
to
yeah,
live?
we're getting mogged. I forgot.
Yeah, you're getting squiddled right now.
I think we'll be fine. No comment otherwise. We have to be.
No comment.
No
All
comment.
right. So, oh, that's not the music I want. Hold on.
Well,
Here we go. It's very hard finding tracks for royalty-free D&D music
That don't sound like garbage.
or are not like fucking 3 minutes. It's just not long enough.
You don't want to be restarting it every 3 minutes?
I don't.
I swear.
actually.
there is
I know.
a loop command, I think. With
There
the...
is a loop command. However, do you want 3 minutes of the same song over and over?
Have you ever
again?
used the website
I don't
Tabletop
think so.
Audio?
I have not. What is that?
Oh,
I would open it.
Well, I'm doing it right now. Hold on. Tabletop audio. Oh my god. Ooh.
Hold on.
There's a music tab on the
There is a music tab.
I'm thinking at the tiny dice.
This guy loves tiny.
I'm looking for ones that are not Patreon patrons.
So this
only.
is tiny D20. This
love
is
tiny
metal
D20.
D20.
Oh my god.
I found a tiny D6.
Most of them aren't Patreon
small.
only, but a lot of them have alternate versions that are only for Patreon people.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's fucked up.
Oh,
Nothing
yes,
should
5
cost
alternate versions. I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Patreon,
Okay.
more like Patreon.
Just Patreon's good.
Oh god,
I like it.
How do I turn it down? Hold on.
This guy wants to turn it down.
I do want to turn it down. It's
Turn it
okay.
down
I see.
now.
Oh, this is. I'm gonna have to
Turn
I'm gonna have
down
to
for
check out
what?
This
Also,
more
if you
often.
open the tab that's sound pad, the sound pad is just like ambience with everything that you can hear in it, like slidable.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And there's also music that you can. There's also music in the sound pad.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
Um,
It's kinky as hell.
that is so cool.
There
I
is
think it's
a-
royalty free.
Hold on, I'm trying to send this link to your players, and they will
There
hear
is a
what
Lil
you
Jon
play.
HGTV show.
Hold on, I'm
It's
gonna
called
send this to
Lil
you guys.
Jon House Renovation. What? In big letters. Because
Hold on.
and so HGTV is
What?
it makes sense to the audience. The show.
What?
I put it in the voice
What?
chat messages of
Okay.
the thing. I don't know how it'll work, but I think if you have it open, you'll be able to hear the things that I'm playing on stream as well.
Sounds
Yep.
unlikely.
Yeah, all right. And then there are a couple of different things. So I think if I play this one, yeah, okay.
The eardrum exploder 9000.
The eardrum exploder 703. All right, can you hear that music?
Yes.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
All right. Chat,
Where
let me
do
know
I
if the
get
music. Let me know if the music ends up being too loud.
Connect.
I'll figure it out.
Yes, they got voided for a second. That's just because I was in something else. Okay. All right. So, welcome back to the sands of the Ruby Desert. The music is intense because intense shit is about to happen. Our brave, intrepid people who are working for a company went down into a dink, dank, dark, stinky hole filled with, and I shit you not, artifacts and items that they then took some of them. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, but they didn't really ask first, which is fine, because you know what Edgar Snorce don't know won't hurt him. However, after the other group of adventurers, the Green Fist Brigade, a collection of mercenaries under Rangok, cleared out a large section of the building, you went over there with your newfangled book of finding secret shit and found some a secret passage leading down into a sort of swirling stairway that arrived to a pit. During your little exploration, you triggered a couple traps. There was a trap that you set off that I think burned Vidro on the stairs. There was a trap that was that had already been previously set off by the orcs company, just like a mini ballista behind a door, a crossbow, some people call them.
Whoa.
But automated. And then finally making your way down to the very bottom of these winding set of stairs, of which you noted do not seem to be, it does not seem to be a fabricated cavern. This part of the tunnel is almost purely natural, save for the stairs that have been etched into the floor to make travel to the bottom and to the top easier. You spent, I think it was something like 15 to 20 minutes walking these stairs before finally getting to the bottom of it, which revealed a archway and a sort of glistening pool off in the center of a room. The room you could see was filled with these sort of larval-like squidlings. The squidlings that you've seen so far all seem to have been attached to a like small humanoids of some kind, including a bunch of them just piled up where the Green Fist Brigade had slaughtered a bunch of them in the other section of the rooms. But these do not seem to be formed into anything. They don't seem to have arms or legs. They almost look like just the head part. These sort of flailing little tendrils. And as you were investigating, you sent your sweet bird Arson, who loves you so much, into the archway to see if it was trapped. You then found out that it was trapped, and then had Arson set off the trap, and then Arson died. He'll come back at some point. He'll be fine. When the trap went off, however, the goon squad was alerted, and soon a veritable wave of larval squidlings began, like a whirlpool. A whirlpool doesn't move forward you. What moves toward you? Just a wave?
Tidal wave.
What's another word for wave? Be my thesaurus.
A tsunami.
A tsunami of squidling larvae started pouring towards the door, and you began making your way back up the stairs. What we're going to start with is initiative. I need everyone to give me an initiative roll right off the bat. Let's go. Come on. Bring those dice out.
All right. I rolled a 16, but my result would be 15. Because I have a -1 to my initiative. Thank you very much.
You have a -1.
Rahim is not very dexterous.
He's missing 2 out of 2 legs.
Honestly, it's not because of his legs. It's just because he's big and bulky, man. Just kind of like big.
All right. I have rolled the. We're gonna have this count as one. We're gonna say it's a humongous swarm.
Oh no!
So it acts like a swarm, and can go through your space. We'll say. There we go. Okay.
I got an 8.
All right, Gozzler, you got an 8. I typed you in as Gozzler.
Gozzler!
The fucking Gozzler.
Yeah, you went on about the Gozzle.
Vidrio.
I got a 7.
A 7, and then finally my sweet wife Rahim.
15.
15.
That's me.
All right.
My neighbor Rahim.
My neighbor Rahim. All right, so off the bat, again, you are in Rahim holding a torch, kind of light. Or no, did you have a light spell going? I can't remember if we.
I had a torch, but we might have had a light spell going.
I don't.
But we definitely had that big.
We had the rock.
Oh yeah, the rock. Yes, you had the glowing rock. You had found a grub that had eaten some kind of fruit that had a glowing pit in the center of it, and it was just grubbing and glowing. So you murdered it and took its glow. You took its dream. You now stand kind of in this small alcove, this wash of larvae coming towards you. Rahim, you're up first. You're the first to react. You see them coming on the edge of the light as they spill forward. All of the small glistening, what look to be like natural bioluminescent plants that are filling this far cave, are like blotting out as larvae sort of swarm over them.
I'm just gonna do the.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna do a classic, hit him with the double-bladed scimitar, but I know that might not be
you yet.
That's it.
Rahim, give me a wisdom check. Just give me a little bit of Rahim wisdom.
Is it because what I said was too silly? I'm sorry.
No, it is not because what you said was too silly.
Not.
You got 9. Okay, you're pretty confident. You think you could take them. However, as you watch them begin to blot out these lights, you are quickly recognizing that the scope of this threat would swallow a person. Like, there are so many larvae that are moving together that they very, very easily, and they're moving quickly. If they caught up to you, you think you could, you're pretty strong. You could definitely take it. You're Rahim Monamiir. But Gozzler would definitely get like eaten up. And Vidro already looks like he's pretty hurt. So
Right.
I think with a 9, you could probably take him. Your compatriots might not be able to.
Here's my thing. Can I like grab Vidro and push him ahead of me for a turn?
Yeah, make an attack against Vidro's AC. We'll say this is a shove
gonna
attack.
allow it?
I mean, I'll allow it if I know Rahim's helping me,
Yeah, I'll say something like, Vidro, you gotta get ahead of me. That's what he'd say. Crazy. I'm gonna roll a attack against you. So that's gonna be a nat 20. Let's
go.
go.
I think shove usually pushes you 5 feet. If it might be 10. Hold on, let me check.
Well, it should be 10 because I
Shove.
critted it.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
It should be like all the way up the 15 minutes of stairs because of that 20.
I will with the nat 20, you instead of pushing Vidro, you more grab him by the lapels of his robe and just kind of like half chuck him up the stairs.
Yes.
Vidro, you stumble 10 feet up the stairs as Rahim kind of throws you out of harm's way.
God. I got you next.
Gozzler.
Thank you, Rahim.
Oh my god, it's Gozzler time.
It is.
So, can I make an insight check, if possible? Can I glean any information regarding whether or not I think this thing is functioning as a unit or as many little units?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, roll an insight for that. Hello, Dino Adventurer. Welcome to the stream. It goes quite well. How are you?
That's gonna be insight is gonna be that's a 15.
Yeah, like from what you can tell, the way that they're moving indicates to you that they are moving together. Like the horde of these larvae are moving as one. It's actually kind of unnerving as you begin to recognize that like the way that they're crawling over each other is almost like the quickest route to get to you if they were like perfectly working together. Like this is a hive mind 100%.
Okay. How far away would you say it is from me, roughly speaking?
They are currently about 40 feet away.
Okay, 40 feet is something I can work with. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start backing up the stairs, but while they're still in my sight on my way up, I am in fact going to do the art of what is known as, to some people, as casting a 2nd level ice knife.
Oh shit, okay.
As I reach into my pocket.
Dear Lord.
Normally, usually when I cast a spell, it glows like a very like obnoxious little pink. But this is just like a weird little like just like ice blue glow coming from my little component pouch as I yoink out just like a bunch of ice cubes and just start hucking them towards the mass.
Wait, so your ice knife does not look like a knife, it just looks like ice cubes?
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Damn.
No, yeah, that's fine. You watch as Gozzler just throws a handful of what looked to be like crushed ice that you'd get like at a bar or something. Roll to hit.
Well, about that, very funny you ask, because I just got what the artist would know as a natural 20.
Oh my goodness, that's
Holy
great.
shit.
Yeah, roll your double damage on your d4s.
Fergadelic.
Or double dice is how we typically do it. Also,
Yeah.
Laney, could you put the slideshow link in the chat?
So that's gonna be a.
Thank you.
Well,
It's okay.
So ice knife is a D10 on the hit, so it's 2 D10s on the
Okay.
hit, and then there's the explosion after.
Yes, and so the explosion is they roll against that, I believe, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they make
and
a
is it
dex save.
Dex, all right. Does a 13 do it?
13 does not do it.
Yeah, they super fail.
So on the hit, it smacks into them and they take 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
And so then I get to roll 6d6.
Ooh.
Dear Lord.
Oh my god, I haven't played a caster in so long.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Damage, please.
Damage, please.
Oh, shebang. Do I have enough DC? Oh, I have to. That's gonna be what they call 5, 10, 12, 17, 21. Then they explode and they take 21 cold damage.
Got you.
Holy mackerel.
You watch as Gozzler throws this like little chunk of ice, and it like lands on a couple of them and kind of like squishes them as they land, and then you watch them vibrate, and as the larval horde kind of crawls over it, the magical glow like dissipates, and then you watch as the ice cubes explode, sending larvae off against the walls. Gozzler, you watch as these two like sort of holes that have formed are immediately like refilled by more larvae as they're coming through. Like they seem hurted but undeterred. You could see. Does Ice Knife slow them down at all?
Ice Knife does not slow them down.
Okay.
It just is D10 piercing damage, and then everything within 5 feet takes the explosion.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I go and I start to scoot back up the stairs.
Okay. And you move 30 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no, actually 25 because I'm small.
So you start hopping up the steps as far as your little legs can carry you.
Don't worry, I'm gonna help you.
Vidro, you've been pushed onto the stairs. It is now your turn.
All right. I yell to the other crew members. I say, all right, I'm gonna go get some help, and I'm going to cast Expeditious Retreat with my last spell slot.
Oh shit!
Dude.
I'm gonna take the bonus action dash and my action dash and my movement to run 90 feet up these stairs. Yeah.
Not bad. Oh my god, wait, we're on the really stairs.
Yeah, we are.
Bonus action dash plus
because you used Expeditious Retreat.
No, that's fine, but that would only be 60 feet, right?
But
Because
then
you
I
can't use your action. You just cast a spell.
Oh, the spell allows me when I cast it, and then as a bonus action on my turn, I can take the dash action. So when I use it, I get the dash action on that turn.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that 90 feet would be if you were using your action to dash, your bonus action to dash, and then your regular movement. But because you use your action to cast, right?
When you cast a spell, and then as a bonus action.
It's a bonus action to cast it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think.
Okay.
I'll send this.
I think you'd still move 60 feet though, right? Because then it would be action dash and then regular movement.
Yeah, because you can't do 2 bonus actions.
God damn it.
But I'm not doing 2 bonus actions. I'm just using my regular action, right?
Right, but what I'm saying is
it's still 1 dash.
It would be 60 feet this turn instead of 90. Next turn it would be 90 because you would have the bonus action, and regular movement. Does that make sense? You look confused.
Confused, but I'll roll with it. 60 feet ahoy!
It's all good. Either way, you fly up those steps. You are on the move. You outpace your fucking team.
Later, skaters.
I think you are holding. Are you holding? Who has the pit?
Not me. I have a torch.
We gave it to Arson when he went into the trap.
So the pit is there's a glowing orb behind you guys. Rahim has the torch. Vidro, you run off into darkness.
Yes.
You can't see. However, it is only a 5-foot wide stairwell, so you are like kind of running your hands along as you're running. It's a little dangerous, but it's better than being down there. Up next is the swarm, Rahim and Gozzler. You watch as this splash like water into the room. Rahim, they begin to collect around your legs and start moving up your body. You move 25 feet, so they get within 5 feet away from you, Gozzler, but they can't quite make it to you. They dashed this turn, so they are not going to attack you, Rahim. But just know that you are currently you are in the pit right now. You finna be in the pit. Rahim, it is your turn. What do you do?
Gozzler, is he behind me or in front of me?
He is up the stairs about 25 feet ahead of you. Because you moved Vidro, but I don't think you moved yourself on your turn.
Could I give up my dash to run and then grab little Pipsqueak?
Yeah, so you wanna run up and like yoink him?
Yes, so that he's like with me like a carry on.
You currently have half movement, so you only have 15 feet of movement. So you would need 20 feet of movement to actually reach him.
It'll be okay. I have methods of moving.
Should I dash? Like
I would encourage you to dash.
All right, which means I could just go my full feet. Okay, so I think that would be 40 feet if I'm not mistaken. Oh, 30 feet, obviously. 40 feet.
Yeah, well, you only have half movement for 20 feet.
But if I dash.
Right, so you have 60 feet total. You use 40 of that 60 feet to get out, and then you run another 20 feet ahead. So you are now 20 feet ahead of the actual swarm of goo boys.
All right, that makes sense.
You are a little bit ahead of Gozzler. Do you have anything left on your turn as a bonus action, or are you all set?
Oh, that's a very good point. Let me just... you know how in opera you can't make a thing go back?
I do know that,
yeah. I think I will save my action surge in case things get sorry dicey.
Okay.
So, what do you think, though, Joseph?
I think we are currently probably okay.
Love it.
As in okay as we can be in this current situation. As in, I think if anything goes wrong, we will maybe all die, but I think Gozzler individually is fine.
Party reset. All right, just kidding.
Let's go.
All right, Gozzler, it's your go. You've got worms.
So, I am going to, let's see. So I've used that spell slot. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to do an activity known as.
Wow.
And I want, so I'm gonna. Okay, so either this works or it doesn't work, but either way, it's the best thing for me to try. I am going to try something incredibly dumb. It is 5 feet away from you. Yes.
It is currently 5 feet away from you. Yes.
So I am going to. I'm going to begin my retreat, but first, I'm going to attempt to look into the swarm. And can you make me? And also, if this does not work, I understand if it does not work.
Okay.
However, I would like to use my School of Enchantment feature, Hypnotic Gaze.
Okay.
And try to look into the swarm. It doesn't charm it, but it does incapacitate it. And it is the only thing I can do as long as I have it.
Let me look at Hypnotic Gaze real quick. Hypnotic Gaze. Let's see. You choose this school.
I'll put it in your Twitch chat.
Oh yeah, please do. Oh wait, no, you can't put it in Twitch chat.
I can't?
You can. Oh, you can. Look at that. As an action, choose one creature you can see or they can hear you within 5 feet, must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn. The charmed creature's speed drops to 0 and the creature is incapacitated and visibly dazed. You can use your action to maintain this effect on subsequent turns. Okay. Yeah. I will roll that wisdom for them.
Okay.
That is a natural 20 on the wisdom save.
That's the third one.
You watch as you begin to cast this. Is it a spell? What does this look like?
It is just something I know how to do.
Huh.
Okay, and this is from what book is this from? This is from Player's Handbook?
School of Enchantment, I think is PHB.
I've never played with an enchantment wizard. That's cool. But yeah, you watch as they run forward. You look at them hypnotically, and the worms for a second kind of do that like that snake thing where they kind of follow your head for a moment, and then it, like almost like all of them together like shake their head at once, like they're like throwing it off, and then begin to surge forward again.
And I then will attempt to just start dipping away 25 feet.
You 25 feet up the stairs, Rahim. You watch as Gozzler passes you by about 5 feet running up. All right, Rahim, it's your turn. Gozzler tried to do something, but it seems that the worms are still on their way.
The worms.
The
worms.
Can I run with him in some way, or is that silly?
Hold on, Laney, someone just redeemed Show Me a Cat. Do you have Obi behind you?
Obi is unfortunately snuggle-buggled up in the closet.
I'll come get him. Hold on.
I don't have a cat, but Sam has this metallic rubber duck on her desk.
Oh, fuck yes.
Losers.
Oh my god.
Jump scare.
Wait, Dev, am I allowed to hold him while I run?
He's pretty small.
He's pretty small. You're small. You're small. That's what we do all the time.
All right, someone wanted to see Obi, so I've brought Obi. Holly, here's Obi. He was sleeping, and now he's no longer sleeping, but I think he'll be okay.
Joseph, are you reading?
Yeah.
You have an intense face. You're like.
All right, he didn't want to leave. Okay. So Rahim, what are you up to?
I am gonna try to carry him with me as I run or whatever I'm allowed to do for movement.
Okay, so you're gonna use an action to pick him up. Gozzler, you feel two rugged hands grip you underneath the armpits like a cat. And yeah, you begin running up the steps. You can move 30 feet.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. You go up the steps 30 feet. As you run forward, you begin to hear this almost like, I want to say, reverberating noise, kind of like this. You see the larva. They get they move 30 feet. They're still like kind of almost nipping at your heels, but you see that there are little almost pinpricks of light coming from inside the mound, and the larval group like seem to like almost open up, and I guess Gozzler, make a I'll give you this. Gozzler, you can either make your own dexterity check with disadvantage, or you can let just Rahim make the dexterity check for both of you with disadvantage.
I have a -1, just so you know.
Oh, you're muted.
I'll make my own because I'm flat. I wasn't muted. I just had my little thingy up.
All right. So both of you make a dex save with disadvantage. Gozzler because you're being carried, and Rahim because you are carrying.
All right, I'm rolling. All right, so that's 10 for 1, and 2.
That is not going to do it.
I got a 5.
All right, you both are going to take some psychic damage.
Death of us. This could be our death.
My brain.
You guys take 8 points of psychic damage.
That's not great.
As you feel this beam of light like crash into you, and you suddenly are swarmed by images of your life that you have lived, some of the happiest and some of the worst moments, and coupled with that, you just see those moments turning into basically worm food. Like all of these memories are suddenly infested with worms, like the birth of your child, watching them being eaten away by insects. Gozzler, your village burning to the ground as the entire place is swarmed by these larvae. Just these horrible images to the point where like your mind begins to like feel physical pain. Vidro, back to you. You are in the middle of the dark. You do see, actually, sorry, you're in the dark. 30 feet behind you, you can see the light of Rahim's torch starting to come up the stairs.
Okay, I am.
I'm busy with stuff.
Message. Yeah, you're busy with the child.
My
Yeah,
child
the
gets-
worm birth of your child.
The worm birth.
Worm
I'm gonna run. Oh, thank you so much, Sam.
Oh my gosh.
My God,
There's-
You got me as
Poggies.
brushy. Poggies.
That's
I'm
great.
gonna run 90 feet up the stairs. I gotta go get some
Okay.
help.
All
Okay,
right.
yeah.
Can you make for me let's say a dexterity saving throw as you run, or a dexterity check as you run up the stairs to see if you trip at any point, because you are moving with great speed.
Oh, I'm moving with such speed. My dex is hopefully great. It's been a while since I looked at my boy's dex score. It's +2. That makes this
So,
16.
Yeah, you're able to keep sure footing as you run. I mean, like, I think it's to the point where maybe even some of the like glass in your backpack you hear like shattering as some of the bottles are like getting like tossed around, because you like 90 feet every 6 seconds is a lot of distance.
That
You
is
are moving disgustingly fast, so all you can Gozzler and Rahim, for you it's kind of weird because you just had this horrible moment, and then you watch, or you can't see him, but you just hear the sound of glass just like and like moving away from you super quickly.
is it like fault? Like, is it on the stairs now?
Yes, you are on the stairs and the worms are like following you up the
What
stairs.
about the glass?
The glass? No, it is just like the glass in his bag, like some of the knickknacks and stuff are
Yeah.
like
Dude.
getting shattered by like how quickly he has to run.
Imagine
Now,
if we
I
had
got
to
a bag
run
of
through
glass.
Brock, may I just say, this looks so much
Yeah.
worse.
I don't know why it's so bad.
It's so goofy. You can keep it that way if you'd like. I'm just. It's
Just
really
lower
I'm
you
seeing I
out.
can't find a better one.
no worries. All right. It's a feast for the eyes. I'll say that.
It is a feast for Matt.
I'm straight up feasting,
My eyes are certainly feasting.
consuming it.
My eyes are like worm eating.
After that would be the Gazi Dazi.
Muted.
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 You say
Yeah.
you say being carried?
You are being carried, like a cat. You're just like in Rahim's arms, just kind of like dangling.
In that case, with my weaknesses being covered up, and leaving me without any flaw, I will attempt to do Well, that's not very good actually. Now is it? Because I would be considered 5 feet away from it now, wouldn't I?
I think right now you're. Yeah, I think you are. I think you are 5 feet away from it. I think it's right behind you.
Yup.
My-
In that
I thought it
case,
was 10 feet.
It's right behind me, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
So in that case, can I attempt to smash open a bottle of oil on the swarm?
Yeah, absolutely. You take out a I guess this. When did you get this?
Starting equipment.
Oh, got you. I guess you pull out. What does it look
Damn.
like?
I just have like it's basically just like for like soaking like cloth for like making torches and shit. So I just like have like a little like not like a I get
It's like a
What's the
mason
word I'm
jar.
looking yeah, like basically just like a little like jar of oil.
All right, you pull out this fucking mason jar full of oil and send it sailing behind you. Roll a ranged attack.
Okay, hell yeah.
I would say that you do not have proficiency, as this is a mason jar, and
Excellent.
you did not take the hillbilly class.
That is true. I did not take the hillbilly class.
God damn it.
So in that case, that will be what is known in the countryside as a 5.
You throw the oil, and it's a direct hit. However, because the worms are so soft, it like doesn't shatter, and it just kind of gets absorbed into the group of worms. So it's in there somewhere, but the oil has not spread.
Yeah. So nightmare. Do I have anything else I can do based on that information that has been brought to me? Anything at all? Let me see here. Because for your information,
I'm ready. I love information.
FYI.
I love.
End my turn.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
You throw it, you watch it get absorbed, and you kind of hang your head a little bit as you're carried up these steps.
Run faster, please! I have my utility belt is quickly becoming empty.
Rahim,
Oh yeah, for sure. I
it
will
is your
try.
turn.
I'm trying my best. Do you want me to roll anything while I'm dashing?
Yeah, roll me
Like,
I will let you do either con or strength as you run up these steps.
That's another win for Rahim. Alright, so let's see.
Supple you.
Let's see. Alright, you said constitution or strength. Oh, both are
Yeah.
great. Alright, okay, here I go. Okay, I'm sorry, it was cocked. Okay, 16.
Yeah, it's a little awkward trying to get up all these steps with wooden legs and a Gozzler, but you are making surprisingly good time for a man with 0 legs.
Excuse you, I'm wearing them.
I'm wearing them right now.
Also, I'm running like this to get the aerodynamics going.
Right, of course. I guess you footballed Gozzler under your arm as you're running
Yes!
the torch.
What?
Yeah, you are sprinting up these steps. You move 60 feet. You are now starting to lose kind of the mass of this creature as it is forced to also dash. And it catches up right on your heels once again. They have now, like, instead of being like a clump, they have sort of stuck to the entire circle of this cavernous area and are now moving like a shadow, just covering the entire place in their stees.
That's crazy.
Vidro, it's up to you now.
I'm zooming. I'm gonna go another 90 feet.
All right, you zoom higher up the steps now. You're not sure how close or how far you are, but you're hoping that you're probably getting close to it soon. Do make me another dexterity check as you go up these stairs.
Sounds good. Oh, that was cocked. That is a 17.
17, all right, your footing is still sure. You have never run so fast in your life. You are the quickest, footedest man in the West. Gozzler, all the way back around to you.
In that case, what I'm gonna do is I am as a football, as I'm basically running out of I'm getting increasingly desperate here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a minor illusion of myself, just like slightly downwind of where Rahim is sprinting.
Okay.
And just kind of like close my eyes and hope.
Okay, yeah.
I like that. It's a good shot.
I like that. Rahim, what are you up to?
All right. It's already my turn again. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. Here's what I do.
Yes.
I run.
Okay, roll your strength or con.
All right, here we go. 24.
Jesus.
Yeah!
You are doing so well.
Yo.
Okay. As you're going, I will roll I guess intelligence for these worms.
There is a DC for it.
Oh, there is. What's the DC?
So the DC is I'm also extra good at it because I'm a gnome. What does that mean here? So it's a int check against it's specifically investigation against 14.
Okay, yeah, no, they definitely don't make it. You kind of see behind you as the wave crashes into your little maid illusion, and poor fucking Gozzler the second is very quickly forgotten by this sea, as he sees his last moments. It doesn't take them very long to discover that this is in fact a zero flesh being. However, you have eaten up their action for this turn, and they are only able to move 30 feet up the way. You now have a solid like 35 feet between you and them. So Vidro and Rahim, why don't both of you make me one last dexterity and strength/con to see how the rest of this run goes? Because unless you like do something fucking horrible, I don't think they'll catch up to you.
I can make more Gozzlers all day!
Why do you both look upset?
I got a 5.
I got 8.
Okay.
This is how we got last
here's,
time.
I will. What I'll do is then, as this is going, Gozzler, can you make illusions like constantly, like every turn?
It's a cantrip, baby.
Okay. Then I will roll for them their own like gathered intelligence. Okay. So. We have this scene, right? Rahim, you are running up the stairs. These things are, as far as you know, right on your fucking heels. You haven't even had time to turn around. As you're going, you hear this. And as you go up further on the steps, you come across Vidro, who has slipped and like has landed on his back, and almost all of his glass has shattered in his bag. You just like, it used to be this like almost nice melodious clinkling sound when he moved. Now it's just like of broken glass. As you help him to his feet, the swarm is getting closer and closer. However, they have not seemed to quite find out the Gozzler trick, and every time Gozzler makes a new one, they seem to go for it, kind of slowing down their ability to move forward. Soon,
what you doing?
You arrive at the top of the stairs. You've now been running for like 10 minutes. You are caked in sweat. Gozzler, you have car sickness. Roll me a con saving throw, Gozzler, as you get jostled and jimmied.
If you throw up.
Have a scared child this time.
He's getting jostled, dude.
Con? It's gonna be a 13.
Alright, you're able to hold your Yarfin, but you're not feeling great.
This one's a puppy! You,
plow through the iron door that stands between you and freedom. You break out back into the area. What do you do from here?
Slam the door shut.
Okay.
Please slam the door shut. Yeah.
You slam the door closed. There is like a large sort of like metal latch you can put in front of it.
Yes.
However, the door itself does not look like the sturdiest thing in the world.
I put the latch down, and is there any furniture in here?
No. Most furniture or what has been left over has been taken or is so decrepit that it wouldn't be able to be moved.
I think at least putting the latch on and then continuing running, I guess.
Okay. You
yeah.
Guys, Vidro, did you want to do anything?
Oh no, I'm gonna run with them once we get the door latched.
Got you. You guys continue running. Probably set Gozzler down to run on his.
I do.
Fees.
I let him run. He needs exercise today.
You get close to the exit room. You're probably 1 or 2 rooms away when you hear a from behind you. Guessing is probably the telltale sign of a door being exploded. You keep running. You find yourself now in this large main chamber. There are already a couple of scholars now down here in this main room. There's about 3 of them. And they kind of look up. Why are you running?
You should be running!
Oh no!
Up the rope!
My upper body strength! Mom always told me this would be the end of me! And he starts very slowly climbing up the rope.
No.
Almost like blocking your way from getting up, as he is like he's so weak.
I'm pushing his butt up. Like I'm just like.
Alright, yeah. Roll me a strength.
Okay, good. 22.
22. You begin climbing after him and like kind of just one hand on the rope. Or actually 22, you hold onto the rope with just your like legs sort of crossed together and you use both hands to shove him up, and then you climb a little and then shove him up and then climb a little, as he like the whole time he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't think I was gonna be in a life or death situation today. No. The other surveyors seem to be a little more normally built for humans, and they begin to climb the rope after you as well. Gozzler and Vidro, you begin making your way up, and soon, Gozzler, just as your feet have kind of just gotten over the floor, you see this wave of worms begin to pour into the room, covering the entire floor like a carpet of wriggling, like slime-filled ooze. You watch as all of these little bluish-white pinpricks of light begin appearing around the floor, and soon this entire underground room is glowing with residual light from these creatures. Just as you are able to, you feel a rough hand kind of grab you and bring you up. From the top, you see Rangok, the half orc, has pulled you out, and him and two of the other Green Fist Brigade reach over. They found this place under a large rock slab, and you watch as they grab it. I'm actually gonna roll strength for them. Rahim, did you want to help them?
Yes.
Okay, you roll your own strength, and I will roll their strength.
I
rolled pretty well.
Yeah, I rolled pretty well. 22 again.
Okay. Oh wow, they also got 22. So
Damn.
you watch as Rahim runs over. All of you grab this giant stone slab, and dust and sand fly out in all directions, and you hear this horrible screech coming from inside. And you watch as the stone gets shot up at least a good 5 feet as some kind of wave of energy slams into it, but it falls right back down over the hole, and you are left in silence.
Is anyone else in there?
I don't know, not that I know of. Boys, do I have anyone else down there? And a couple of the other Green Fist Brigade kind of like shrug and look at each other. You do see, coming out from their tent to kind of see what's going on, you see Edgar Snorce, and you see Lid, the Duragar, who kind of runs over. What's going on?
Brain parasites. Too many brain parasites. Maybe not too many if there was a large enough force put up against them, which I'm open to. However, far too many brain parasites for just us.
It's quite a wave down there.
Knits his eyebrows, looking at the top of it. Do you think my brothers are all right down there?
It was the other direction from them. I would say that, assuming that they didn't have any particularly delicious memories going on at the time, I would hope that they're fine. I would assume that they're fine. However, the direction that we were going in, assuredly not fine.
He kind of takes this in. He seems a little rattled. Rahim, were you saying something?
I was just gonna say, if you want to go back in. I mean, not Vidro, he's not doing good, but I could go back in there if you really need to check on them. But it's fucked up.
The Green Fist Brigade, they kind of lift a little bit to look inside, and kind of puts it down and kind of shakes his head. I wouldn't recommend going in there, at least for a bit. I can't see the room anymore, which tells me that I think they've filled it.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure your brother's all right. They seem to know how to handle themselves around this situation like this.
One of them's just a kid. This was supposed to be his first outing. Excuse me. Unprofessional of me, but I'm going to take my leave. And he kind of trudges off to the tent. Edgar Snorce, again, this very lanky, tall human man, wispy white hair, tiny spectacles, and like very classic, like almost like tan safari gear. Not what you would wear out into the desert, really. But he doesn't seem too perturbed. He's wearing like cargo shorts, basically.
He watched the movie once.
He basically he watched Tarzan and really
Tarzan.
liked Tarzan. I saw Tarzan, my favorite film. Is everything quite all right? What happened to the dig site?
We found a more dig site. We dug through the dig site until we found an extra dug-in site featuring terrifying purple worms that will make you have bad versions of good memories. And also, I think they possess you if they kill you. It's a whole bad things. There are bad things down there.
Slow down, Gozzler. Slow down. You're telling me you found some sort of antechamber filled with something aggressive, yes?
Extensive caverns to what we assume to be the Underdark, both ways.
I see. Well, all right. Well, no sense crying over spilled milk. And you can tell, like, he's kind of like trying to hype himself up. He looks like a little devastated that the place is like infested with these things. And he kind of starts pacing back and forth. Yes, well, this could mean that this civilization had contact with both the Underdark as well as many of the cultures above ground. This could be a breakthrough anthropologically if we could find some of their writings, perhaps even languages that subsist of both our common and the Underdark's common. Yes, this could be good.
Like, just I interrupt him and I just huck in my diary. Done and done.
Grabs it. What is? Oh, my dear boy. Yes. Yes, this is very good work. He closes it.
Boy.
I think he even comes over to Gozzler and like puts his hands on his shoulders. You've done very well to find this for me. He gives you like a kiss on each cheek, and kind of like pats your head.
Interesting.
Right. Well, I will get this to our transcribers right away. Please take your rest, grab your meal for the day. You've earned your rest. I apologize that your life was put at such risk, but seeing that you were willing to put your life on the line for this artifact speaks greatly to your character. And he kind of gives a curt little bow and then like does like a little skip and runs off into the scholar's tent and just like disappears.
I turn to Vidro and I say, remind me to never do extra credit, all right?
If extra credit is like that, I agree.
I need to go sit down for a second. I'll be back. Rahim is going to go sit down and think as hard as he can about the birth of his daughter and see if it's filled with worms.
It's not.
Right.
As you kind of think back to, give me this. One, were you there for the birth of your daughter? And if not, what was your first meeting like her like?
Mir, my Rahim's daughter, was not born in a traditional way, but rather sort of crafted and created. And so the day was a very special day with a lot of like the way that Mona was, which was his wife, is that she set everything up to be as special as possible. Like all the favorite flowers, like little stations for different things. Very like setting the mood. And also it was in like a little cave because it was like as personal as possible. So like beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful, but a little yucky, kind of like. Just had to be that way.
Yeah. You think back to this time in your life, probably one of the happiest memories, if not the really. and it is untarnished. There are no worms. There is no suffering. It is just you remember a very notable day with someone you loved.
Rahim is like over the moon, probably a little too happy considering that this is still not a good situation. I come back to the group. Oh my god, the hacker den has been populated.
I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it. The black background is too scary for me.
It's
Hacker
true.
den is where it's at.
Hacker den.
Hacker den.
All right, I come back to the group and I'm ready to hear out whatever anyone's plan is. Oh, hacker den.
Hacker den.
What the fuck? Let's fucking go. All right. Also, if you look, there's a guy here.
Oh,
Hello.
a dude.
This guy.
A wumpus.
A wumpus.
By the way, Brock, the thing you sent me, I think you are right. When it said, like, specifically the wording when you cast this spell and then as a bonus action. So I think you could have gotten 90 feet off that first one.
That's fine.
I appreciate you putting that in the chat for me. Always learning. All
I
right.
learned.
So you find yourselves in the camp. You've spent almost the entire day kind of going like in and out of this dig site. The sun is maybe not quite setting yet, but it's later in the evening, and you have a couple of hours until you run out of light. What would you guys like to do with your time?
Good idea. I think that's more so their category than my category, so I'm just gonna follow them around like a lost dog.
Okay.
Oh no.
I think that my first priority would be bringing back arson, but I can do that in the background of whatever else happens.
Okay.
I'm gonna dig out my glass making supplies and survey the damage.
You sit down as Gozzler pulls out his components to start bringing back his friend. You upturn your bag and it is just decimated. Like if before the fall was probably salvageable, but after falling on the stairs, you think that you must have landed on some of your larger pieces, and it is just the creation kit, like to make new stuff, is fine. Like the being able to make, like the pipe and all that, like they seem to be okay. There is like maybe like a new crack in it or a dent that you have to buffer out, but that looks okay. However, right now I would say that your like your little like effigies and stuff that you make to your god and whatnot have all been smashed to pieces.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Oh man.
I would say if you hold on to them to like resmelt them into things, you could put down like 20 gold worth of glass shards. Like that basically you can make something worth about 20 gold out of all of them together.
Okay.
Because it's already like pre-worked glass. So you have to, like,
it
smelt
can
it
be
down and everything.
reworked. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Continue.
Yeah, I'm just gonna gather up all the pieces, and I look at my two compatriots, and I say, "Hours of long work, lost in a single instant."
I am so sorry, Vidro. That's horrible.
Hey.
Why did you have so much? Are you a glass salesman? Is that what you are?
I prefer more of an artist, but yes.
Okay.
I work with glass, and it's part of the reason why I wanted to be here. But that's besides the point.
Maybe you could take off work tomorrow and make a bunch of stuff, and I could clock in for you or something.
There's no need to worry about it. I can work on this in my own time. To me, glass blowing, it's a very private affair, and it's really something I gotta do in my own time.
In some cultures, they'll make glass, and they'll make the most beautiful ornate things, and then they'll smash them up a bunch, and then they'll glue them back together into new things gluing it together with gold, and it's better that way. So really, you've just made better art.
That sounds true to me.
That does sound interesting, but I'm afraid I'm not very handy when it comes to melting metals around. Glass is much more easier to work with.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, that's
but
fair.
I'd keep it in mind in case I ever find perhaps an expert goldsmith.
I mean, we could see if anyone's an expert around here. There's lots of people here, different
That,
skill sets.
that is true, but I think for now I'm just going to focus on. I pick up a particularly large piece of like green, like soda glazed glass,
Mhm.
and I
Ooh.
say, I just gotta make sure everything fits together for now, and then perhaps we'll see if we can get it fixed. And you can see in the shard there is a singular red glazed eye, and I'm
Ooh.
like, and I look at it and I say, I better get these fixed sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want any help with that? Or
Oh no, no! And I sort of jump a bit at you. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's like I said, you watch as he sort of settles back down. It's really something I need to handle on my own. I'd love to teach you guys sometime, but when it comes to these supplies, they're far too precious to be wasted on learning.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'll get
But
it.
if we find some rough hew sand somewhere, and I point to the desert that surrounds us, I say, perhaps we could find some time to train you guys in the way of glass making.
Oh, I
That could
would
be nice.
love that. Maybe I'll make glass legs. No, I won't. Bad idea.
That depends on the type of glass, because I prestidigitation my quarterstaff again, and I say, if you know how to make it right, it can be quite malleable.
Wow, yeah, I guess so, huh?
Although this requires a bit of magic expertise.
Yeah, not really my thing. Not a magical bone in my body.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
suppose. Yes. And I slowly just sort of like backhoe shovel all the glass pieces back into the knapsack, and I say, you excuse me, I think I might begin to work on this evening, while I nurse my wounds.
Fair.
Mhm.
Have a good night. Hope you're doing well.
And I'll muddle my way off to a secluded part of the campsite
All
to
right.
begin working.
Sounds good. Rahim and Gozzler, you are kind of left together. I guess like sitting in the sand, or wherever you guys were talking. Gozzler, you are resummoning your boy still.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to appreciate that. I think that it was very complimentary of us as a unit, while our compatriot was running very quickly. That we could focus our efforts into me allowing doing my thing, and you performing the divine act of being much more athletic than myself.
Well, I got a lot of things I'm not good at, but I can run sometimes. I can get my legs bumping. Did you see the eye in the glass? Did you see?
Oh, it was for sure very strange. And firmly one of those things that intellectual curiosity and natural wariness of perhaps the eldritch just leaves one to leave alone sometimes.
You think to leave it alone? You think that's a good idea?
Well,
Let's go.
Vidro doesn't seem evil necessarily. I would say he seems frazzled. And I think that an evil character in the world would seem, I would think, more agitated if his evil eyeballs were harmed. And I think he just seems a little frazzled. So I'm
That's a really
perhaps
good point.
maybe worried for him. However, if he does attempt to get us in our sleep, then what has to be done has to be done. But I would mourn it at this point, is what I'm saying. I would be upset.
All of the You know, that's a good point. I'm not trying to doubt all the time. I'm just a very wary person. I'm working.
Oh no,
on
that was super strange. That was it was incredibly strange. And it is definitely I would go so far as to say concern is natural.
Yeah, but I guess he's just not going to talk about it until maybe never. I don't know. We'll see.
You just have to build a culture of trust.
Yeah, you're right. Which is why I'm going to go do something that is not spying on my friend. Which
Excellent.
I want to do, but I will not.
Amazing. Gozzler, it doesn't take long before you whip up a fresh, brand new batch of arson. What does what form does arson take this time?
I think that this time, cause he's been a hawk thus far. I think that I'm gonna keep him as a. I'm gonna keep him as a bird, but this time he's gonna be I'm gonna make him a raven. I think he'd like that.
You watch as the what does it physically look like when he appears?
So I like to think because I've been I have to make him in like kind of like a brazier. So I sort of make him kind of like I'm like making like some sort of soup.
Okay.
And I like to think that I put like a little lid on it and he just kind of like pops out of it.
Yeah, you hear the bubbling and broiling of your brew, and soon the top like flies off, and you see Arson flap his way out, lands on your shoulder, and just gives you a hearty, like right in your ear.
I understand. And I would go so far as to say I would agree if I were you. However,
Arson hops off of you like into the dirt and starts like pacing back and forth while looking at you.
As a token of my gratitude for directly being the reason why none of us are currently dead, I have given you a form that I think you might find more pleasing given your true nature, which is a raven. It is darker and a little bit more evil seeming, and I think that we can both agree that that would be more fun for you.
Oh, he's high-key evil. High-key.
I think Arson kind of squints at you. Does that thing some birds do where they like click their beak a couple of times, like angrily, and then you watch as Arson reaches under his wing and pulls out what seems to be a very small scroll of paper, and like kind of beaks it towards you.
I for sure look at it.
Do you speak Abyssal?
Let me see let me check here.
Or is I guess I should ask first, is he a devil or a demon?
So he is let me take a look at the description of the find familiar spell. So
because I think it's up to you, but he could also be Fey.
Because he is in my head he's a fiend.
He's a fiend.
Which would that be a devil? So that would that be infernal?
That would be infernal, yes.
Because I do speak infernal.
Okay, so in infernal you see yes, Holly, I did look it up because I'm stinky and I don't know what 4 in Spanish is. You see a what looks to be like a very small contract, and it lays out like, I will not send Arson to a painful death if I do not need to. And then there's a little part where you can sign.
Damn.
So I see what you're saying here.
Arson
I would
picks
say
up the paper and then like reaches under their wing and pulls out a very tiny pen.
Oh, how cute. How quaint.
What I'll say is I can, if you know what, unless I have to, I can agree to those terms. Because I will, and along with so I will promise that whenever it does come to pass that this corporeal form has to get rocked, I will make sure to bring you back promptly with a pleasing form to you.
Arson is nodding and kind of bobbing up and down, and then it takes the pen and like stabs it into your hand to get blood on it, and then hands it to you.
Jeez. Okay. I agree. These are fair terms. I'm pro union. I'm pro union. As I sign his contract.
You scratch your name into it, and it erupts in smoke along with the pen, and Arson reaches under his wing one last time and pulls out a single nut and puts it down in the sand for you, and then flutters up and lands on your shoulder, and seems quite content.
Excellent. I hope that we can have a good professional relationship. I know that things have been inflammatory on both sides, but we are going to be pals because I do appreciate what you've done for me quite a bit. You are also.
He seems to squint when you say antagonism on both ends, but as you kind of compliment him, he does seem to nod a little bit, and kind of hops a little bit on your shoulders, in contentment.
Excellent.
Rahim, is there anything you are doing before bed as we kind of wind down this day?
I honestly can't think of anything in particular specific. I think I give a little gentle wiggle of the tent flap at Vidro's place, just to kind of get a, hey, how you doing in there?
Yeah, your tent
don't go
wiggles.
My tent wiggles.
Your tent wiggles, and you hear Rahim on the other side. I don't know, did he say anything?
Yeah, I said, I already said it. I don't remember what I said.
Okay, fair enough.
I sat down what I'm doing, and I slowly walk up to the tent flap and sort of just pry it away a bit and just reveal my face.
Yep, just like.
And I say, "What is this routine? Have the worms escaped?"
Oh, no, nothing bad. I just was checking in to see if you're doing okay.
You wanted to see if I was okay.
Yeah, like your livelihood is. Well, I don't want to remind you, I guess.
Yeah, it is what I'm in the middle of right now.
Yeah, just making sure you're fine. Like, I'm not here to spy on you, I swear.
I didn't expect you of that.
Yeah, good.
I thought you were just concerned because we were friends.
That's what I'm saying. I'm concerned because we are friends. So how you doing?
All right. My wounds are a bit more severe than I thought they were, but
Oh.
I'm
Do you
going
need,
through.
like, healing or something? I mean, I could do a medicine look over.
I should be fine. If it's not better in the morning, I'll see if they have any healers here at the camp. But for now, I need to focus on my work.
Okay. Well, just checking in. Glad you're doing okay. Let us know if you need anything. Me or Gozzler, obviously. You know the deal. Bye.
I know the deal. Goodbye.
As Rahim retires from your tent, what do we see inside your tent, as we kind of pan over Vidro working?
So I have a small work table set up with a semicircle, almost like a crescent moon of sand, which almost appears to have been in a haphazard motion scattered, but in a very deliberate way to form this pattern of a crescent moon. And you see, I'm working on the piece that I showed them earlier, the green soda glazed glass, and I've got all the pieces generally together, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, and I'm sorting through the bag because there's one last small piece that I need in order to complete the sculpture. And I'm like, at this point, I think I just got to create it again. And I grab it, I snatch it with one of my single hands, and my hand catches on fire.
Oh shit!
As I slowly melt it down into a glazed putty.
Oh.
And I sort of drizzle it onto the sand because I need to add more glass to the creation.
Yeah.
As I go along the crescent moon, you watch as it appears that the glass wasn't melted all the way, and blood and glass drains from my hand onto the crescent moon until finally I reach the end, and I slam my fist onto the table, and I say, these words in Abyssal. I don't have the words written down, but I've got my ritual words.
Yeah.
And I grab my glass pipe, and starting at the very end, I insert it in, and I collect the glass with my hand, burning to the end of my glass pipe, and I begin the process of sculpting anew.
Okay.
Goddamn.
You begin your like little eldritch ritual of glass blowing as you begin. If Rahim, do you keep to your word and you don't check on
I keep to my word.
Okay. No one sees, but if anyone maybe had been looking, just outside the tent, we see flashes of reds and blues and greens as this dark, old magic begins to take form as you create your new effigy. When you are done, what does the finish like? Does it look like brand new, or does it still look like fucked up?
It
like,
looks.
As you remake it.
It is not as fire as the original creation was, because I did that at my home where I had access to my whole kiln and everything. But it looks almost like you can see where the green, like old looking glass is, but it's mixed in with the new sand that I melted into it, which is a sea glass blue, and it's swirled in almost like a marble.
Ooh.
And I hold it, and it's still glowing red, hot in my hand.
Awesome.
And with a single seal, I put my thumb onto the head of the lion and whisper a few more words under my breath, and its eyes glow a brilliant, blazing red. And I set it down onto the table.
Can you roll me a religion with advantage?
That's a good thing it was an advantage. That first one was a 3. All right. Religion is intelligence. That is a 14.
When the eyes of your effigy glow, you feel eyes on you, and they are as judging as they always have been, but there does seem to be a gleam of pride in the feeling. Like what you have done has pleased whatever force is looking out over you.
Oh, God.
And you look at your hand, and what I imagine are like horrible burn scars from melting all this glass onto your hand. Like you can probably even see like bone and muscle tissue and tendons underneath the skin. You watch as it re-knits as your hand is healed from this sort of procedure that you've delved into. And you feel like your god is pleased.
Oh, God.
Damn.
I bow my head to the newly created lion, and I say, "Thank you, Lord, for keeping my village safe." And I set it aside on the table and dig out the next one.
No way. Oh, miserable.
And I'm gonna try and get as many as my stamina will allow to do tonight. I know I'm running low on fumes. I might not even get all the way through this one.
Roll me a con save to see how many you can make.
That is a 10 total.
I think you just managed to finish this one. It might even like look a little rough at the end. Like there are like you will definitely need to do some touch-ups on it tomorrow. But the moon is high in the sky. The sun has long since set. It's probably 1 a.m. by the time you're wrapping up, and you are just so dead tired from traveling the desert, from meeting these new people, fighting Flame. It's only been like 3 or 4 days since you fought Flame.
No way.
And I think that the desert finally claims your your exhaustion, and you curl up into your sleeping bag, and the world fades away from all of you for the night. Now, I need to ask this. I need to remind myself, because it's been a while. Who was the last one to have a dream or vision during the night? Do we remember? It might have been Vidro. Way back when.
Me.
It might have been. Oh yes, it might have been yours
Because
with
I had
with
my
Mia.
fire dream.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The fire dream.
The fire
So I
dream.
think Gozzler's up next,
I
right?
think Gozzler's up next.
Yeah.
Up to plate, up to bat.
Up to bat. Gozzler, I think we see. Hold on. Also, if you guys haven't clicked the new link I put in the in the Discord, because you'll get the same sounds that I'm playing.
Is that the desert one?
Yeah, it's the second one. I thought that would be a little more appropriate. But no, you hear. Hold on, I'm playing some music.
You can change it on the fly. Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
It's funky.
This is the greatest fucking tool anyone has ever given me, Joseph. This is amazing.
I look at it sometimes.
Gozzler, as you drift off to sleep, you dream. I want you to tell me what your first meeting with Silvira Savikas was like. You are when you went to Candlekeep for this job as a sort of researcher / librarian at one of the most revered institutes of knowledge on the Sword Coast, what was that like for you?
So I think that definitely, I went into it knowing that I would feel like super overwhelmed with how intelligent everyone was, and then I was doubly overwhelmed with how excited I was that everyone there was so much smarter than me.
Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so you walk up to Candlekeep. It is this sprawling, like almost fortress mansion of a building, and standing out front are these monks that kind of eye you as you walk forward. Were you invited here, or did you put in like a request to join?
I think that I definitely requested.
Okay. So in your hands, kind of clutched nervously, you have this bound note from Silvira Savikas herself welcoming you to Candlekeep. It instructs you to bring a piece of knowledge that is unique to you and to meet her on the top floor. As you approach, the monks kind of eye you. They are wearing these very dark brown robes with golden trim. Their heads are not fully shaved. They have like that very traditional monk thing where like the top of their head is shaved and then it's like almost a circle, like a halo of hair on their head. One of them, funny enough, appears to be a drow, which is kind of interesting to see here, and the other one is a halfling. They make a very odd sort of first impression as you walk up. The drow kind of looks you up and down and kind of does a bow. Welcome to the Library of Candlekeep. How may I help you today?
I am here in response to an emissary sent by what's her name again?
Silvira Savikas.
Madame Savikas has sent me an emissary specifically entreating me with the desire to meet me.
They kind of... They don't look like they're saddened by this, but they kind of like their shoulders droop a little bit. Oh, you are one of Silvira's scholars, yes. Well, there is a tradition amongst those who join in our enclave as working at the library. You will be a temporary part of our sect. Now, as a new monk of the order, you must gift unto us a piece of knowledge yet unseen by the library. What have you brought us?
I like think about it for a little bit, and then I think I remember one of the things that I was most annoying about growing up. Growing up in the woods, there were two different beetles that would always eat all the leaves off our crops. There were the red ones with the blue spots, and there were the blue ones with the red spots. And you could ordinarily not tell the difference between them by any common means. However, if you placed a 3-pointed leaf in front of a red one with blue spots and a 4-pointed leaf in front of a blue one with red spots, then the red ones with blue spots would only eat the 3-pointed leaves, and the blue ones would only eat the 4-pointed leaves. However, if you were to take a point off of the leaf, like tear it off manually, then they would both eat it, which I think is truly very interesting in terms of the way that they function.
Yes, that is very interesting. However, we do need a written document of some kind. We would be happy to give you paper and writing utensils if need be. Usually people bring us the knowledge on paper.
Oh, that can be done. My penmanship is not quite up to the snuff that I'd personally like it to be. However, if I would be glad, I'd be glad to I'd be glad to write that down. That is on me.
Kind of raises their hand excitedly and says, "Oh, I can scribe it for you." And you watch as the drow like shoots daggers with their eyes at the halfling, and they kind of lower their hand. I meant I could scribe your knowledge if that would be easier. And the drow kind of nods as they calm down. And from their robes, they produce a writing set. And you definitely have to go over certain parts like 3 or 4 times because you just talk too fast for them to write it down. But eventually, they have a little scroll of information. They have you sign it, and it is put away. You are brought into Candle Keep, again, this sprawling mansion fortress. You pass by bunks, you pass by what appears to be a section of the cloister that is like all combatants, like they're all wearing armor, and they seem to be being briefed on something, and you maybe even kind of like move your head to kind of like see what they're doing, but the this sort of led tour by this drow monk kind of bringing you along. As they go, they point out various different distinctive areas of the library. They point out where you will be sleeping. It's a fairly small room. However, it is the same size as all of the rest of the rooms. It seems that many of the scholars, especially when they first join, are just put into like the lowest level dormitory. It takes you probably at least half hour to 45 minutes before you are in Silvira's like waiting room outside of her office. The keep has this sort of segmented off area where the keep comes into the steeple-like structures at the top, and then there's just like a stone tower that like juts out from the back of the building and looks completely out of place. You are brought inside and you go up these spiral steps until you reach what appears to be the top of the room. And you are placed in a chair. The drow bows and wordlessly leaves, and like seems to be in a hurry to get away from you as they go down the steps. You are left waiting for some time. Is there anything you get up to while you're in this little like waiting room? It's literally like a hallway with like a bench.
I think I prepare because I think I want to. I think I rationalize it in my head that in order to defuse the situation, it would be best if I tried like kind of like loosening things up with like a little trick. So with it's a bench, you said?
Yes.
I definitely sit my absolute stillest on the bench and like right next to me with like a minor illusion, summon it because I can't make the illusion move, but I can sure sit my best to stay still in it.
Okay.
Just try to like sit mirror wise with my minor illusion.
Yeah, I love that. So you kind of sit next to your twin here, waiting for the door to open, and eventually it does open. You see a what appears to be a red-skinned tiefling woman. She is dressed in finery, these very well-made robes of silk, and on her shoulder, you probably recognize it. You see a closet sitting on her shoulder. and it kind of looks at you, its large bulbous eyes like rotating in its own head as it looks at you, in many different dimensions. Please come in. You are Gozzler, yes? Which one of you is Gozzler?
I think at that, I raise my hand. Oh, that's me. Yeah.
She nods, and says, well, Gozzler, if you could join me, you can leave your friend out here.
Okay. You'll be okay? He'll be fine.
She nods. You walk into the room, and you kind of raise your eyebrows. Can you do me I need a, hold on. I need to check one thing real quick. Trying to see what the role for this would be. I don't think there is one, is there? Hold on.
Roll for not be beheaded.
As you walk into the room, the Silvira in front of you like melts away, and out from behind her desk, the real Silvira stands up and walks forward. That was a very good minor illusion. However, perhaps we should get you some lessons in major image. Yes.
No way! Okay, I would adore that. That would be, I think that would be a highly agreeable, yes, I agree. I would like that.
She smiles. I've spent quite some time studying you, my little friend. I tend not to invite people to our cloister if they are, how you say, untenable to our group, and you seem like you will fit right in. She bows, and kind of walks to the center of the room. Now, from what I hear, you are one of the few magic casters in your village. Tell me a little bit about your home.
We live by in the lot of land. It's about 10 or so acres in between the east tree and the west tree. And me and the other Saravads, we are mostly in charge of production of the greener of the leaves, as opposed to the redder of the leaves, which are more seasonal. Essentially, I would say that it first really came about when travelers would come through, and I think they came to realize that what I thought was just being very polite, and then for some reason people would come back like a minute or two later asking where I was, because apparently I was doing a cantrip, and that was the cantrip where it makes people mad at you after it makes them not mad at you, which personally I think has some utility to it, versus just a parlor trick that makes people mad at you sometimes. It's also pretty good for if you know that you're not going to have a positive relationship with someone. It's rather good for at least pretending to, and you can learn a thing or two for a second.
She smiles as you go on this little rant about your home. She kind of she roll me an insight, actually,
okay,
as you're going over this. I don't know if you'll get much because you're on one of your rambles, but
I do get a 19 flat. Although I might be a bit distracted because this is probably the first time anyone's ever told Gozzler that he's gonna fit in somewhere.
She's kind of running her hands over her desk, and she looks like your fervent retelling of where you come from reminds her of how she might feel about either here or where she comes from. She seems to like your positive spirit, and she kind of nods and smiles. And turns. Well, Gozzler, your home sounds wonderful, and don't worry, many magic users find that they are attuned to the weave accidentally. I am glad that you did not have the same experience that I did and have to help stop a building from burning down. Don't worry, everyone's fine. She laughs. By the way, she holds out her arm, and you watch from the ceiling rafters as that same quasit that was on her image earlier jumps down and lands on her arm. This is Jezebel. She is tame, don't worry. And Jezebel's eyes rotate, and then she like hisses at you, and then skitters off of her arm onto the other shoulder, like still kind of like looking at you, its head tilting up and down, back and forth.
Zoinks.
Magnificent!
With any luck, you will be able to summon your own familiars in due time. Do you already have access to that kind of magic? What schooling have you had?
So after I think it was more or less a fluke. It turns out that the material component in casting friends is a small amount of makeup applied to the face. However, it turns out that if you have like a little bit of mud on your hands, if you rub your eyes and just gesture right when you speak to someone, it can do roughly the same thing. And so then I made the trek out to the local library, and I figured that I looked into the School of Enchantment specifically. That's what I've had access to thus far.
She smiles and nods. It is good to have a specialized field, but we'll make sure that you have a rounded education here. Now, I did see on your list that you do want to be one of our travel researchers. Now, you did read the part of the, let's call it the return rate on that being a little low. Are you confident that you can take care of yourself in a field situation?
Well, I was ready. Gozzler was ready for this question. Well, you see, in any given situation, there are two outcomes that you can find when you first set out. There's one where, and I summon, I bring back my illusion, but it's like a Gozzler that is swooned on the floor. One of two things can happen. One is that you suffer a terrible, dramatic, horrible death. And of course, that is always a possibility. However, the second option, and I gesture to myself, is that everything mostly ends up turning out fine. Ordinarily, you would put that as a 50-50 chance. However, when if you just do it twice, then you don't. Then it's a 100% chance of being alive. The math checks out. I checked.
We will have to set up some math classes for you, however, I do enjoy the gusto. We will make sure to properly prepare you before we send you out into the field. I just wanted to make sure that you were comfortable with that. Last thing is that while you are working here, you will not be able to return home. The cloister is quite firm about only leaving Candlekeep when you are on a mission or otherwise staying here. You may not be able to see your family for the next 5, maybe even a decade, depending on how long you plan on schooling with us. Are you comfortable with that?
When I left, they told me that I was not to come back. At least, if I came back too soon, then I would never be able to leave. And so, I think that it's for the best in terms of my own personal development, professionally, socially, and spiritually, that I make sure to commit. And so I think that having it as a rule only makes it more incentive to commit.
She smiles and kneels down onto the floor and puts a tender sort of grip on your shoulder and says, "Well then, Gozzler Saravad, welcome to Candlekeep." And she stands up and kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of leads you out of the room. And that was the day you began your scholarship under Sylvirus Avacas. You
Oh my gosh.
dream of this day, and it probably, I don't know, how does Gozzler feel about that day?
He definitely, his sense of, he just has like such an internal feeling of competency that just like lives there now. So it's Gnome's age weird. He was probably like 40 or something when he had this meeting.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a little bit of like the way you feel when like you're like thinking about something good that happened to you in middle school, where you're like, oh geez, I could have handled that better, but like, good job me.
You wake up the next day, maybe a little sheepish smile on your face as you remember this dream, and we fade out from there. I will give you guys this option. We can either end here or we can keep going depending on how you're feeling.
I think this is a good spot.
You think this is a good spot?
I think it's a good spot.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry that the last section was the dream section, but
I liked it.
Yeah, I like those sections. I want to make sure that we fit them in naturally rather than trying to shoehorn them in. So I only want to do them when you guys lay down for a rest. So
I liked it a lot.
I like
Me too.
this peek into Gozzler's Wizard 101.
It's true.
Yeah. I think we learned a lot about our heroes today. And their vibes. So thank you guys so much for hanging out today. This was super fun. Brock and I are gonna play some RuneScape. You are welcome to like chill out in the chat with us if you want, or you can go on your merry way and do whatever you'd like. I am going to go pee.
Agreed.
Take a break.
So understood.
And then I will come back in here. We'll play some RuneScape and chill.
Fuck yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for
Good
playing
night, folks.
Dungeons and Dragons with me.
Hell yeah.
Thank
Chelsea
you,
made me a
folks.
delightful dinner, and I'm gonna eat it.
Go eat that dinner!
Yeah, dude. Let's go. Goodbye, everybody.